All right, so guys, welcome to database management class. When you go on the left panel, you're going to see that there's a uh, database management subsection under test automation engineering. And if you expand that, right now you're just going to see one class, but there's a lot of information. So I'm going to be adding these classes as we go along. This is something that I have information bits and pieces here and there, and I'm just porting it over here so that it looks pretty. But my previous versions of this lessons that I did with the training center wasn't that great. They don't even have anything great, but now these presentations are much better, nicer, cleaner, and easy to understand. So next week, you're going to see a few more classes here, and I'm going to add them as we go along. You're all still not going to see anything for Java, maybe something for installation. We'll get to that. And then Selenium, you will see some that I added so far, but there's still more needed. So they'll be there before your class is due, so you should be good. API testing is something that I'm going to do with you guys. This is something that the other training centers don't really have the knowledge base to show you enough. And with this API alone and not knowing automation, you can get a job if you're really good at this. So, and in my project, I've been using this extensively. So I hope to show you something and you can really shine in the interviews. Anyway, so let's get into the Sql Select class, and this class is going to be the fundamentals of what database is, and I'm going to go into how to do some really simple queries. So let's get started. Let me maximize this here. Today's objective, you're going to first see a big picture of where database comes into play, what's the real world application of database is. You're going to understand definitions. Excuse me one second. So what we have today is giving you a big picture, understand the definitions of database, SQL, what is SQL, what do we need SQL, why do we need database altogether, just to get an idea on that. The commands that I'm going to teach you are Sql Select, the where, order by, and then I'll show you a homework. It's not going to be a big class today. So let's go to this page here, and here's you. And you're probably searching for an item to buy on Amazon. And Amazon has a server somewhere. Don't know where it is, actually. But they have a lot of server type of computers that can process data a lot faster and deliver. So when you and the server is connected to something called a database. This database, often you might see a symbol like this when you go into technology architecture. They won't be using these images. They will use symbols like that. So when you see cylindrical images in any kind of tech layout, pretty sure that's going to be database. So when you click a button, anything, any product, or even hit the submit button, your computer sends out a data a packet of data into the Amazon server. Who can tell me how does this packet move from your computer to the Amazon server? What kind of language does
XML or JSON.
XML or JSON? Correct. So your data is sometimes this data is called payload. More of that is when you do the API class. So the data that's going to packet, let's say you hit submit button for purchasing a product, your credit card information, your address, and whatever is needed, it's going to be packed into XML or JSON. And then it's going to be kicked out through the internet into the server. And then server is going to take that and sometimes have you ever seen a situation where you don't even have to put your credit card information, it only asks you for the 3-digit security pin in the back? That means that Amazon probably already have Amazon has your credit card information stored somewhere, and that's the database that it's storing. It noticed that you purchased using this card before, and would you like to use it again? If so, just add some sort of verification 3-digit code and we'll let you go ahead and purchase it. Other companies might even not ask you for that and just, uh, who cares whether you're the right person or not. We got your credit card. You say yes, we'll charge it. We'll make the money. But whatever, they have to tap into their database system to get more information about you if they choose to do that. And Amazon will store your credit card information in their database. So it got an XML request came in to the server saying that you want to buy something. And immediately Amazon is tapping into the database and trying to get more data out of your account, which could be the credit card information. And then once that credit card information is received, then it's going to charge you the money for whatever the XML data is going to show, what the product price is, and so forth. So the process, the way your server is going to communicate with the database is called a SQL. And through SQL language, it's going to ask the database, give me uh, the credit card information of so and so. And that data will be returned just kind of just like you just saw Haley type in and Tony type in show databases. You actually typed in SQL. So with this same kind of idea, and then that command line showed you how many databases there were. So the same kind of idea goes here. Server is gonna ask show or select something to display credit card information of so and so, and then from database the information is going to be passed to the server. Server is going to get that, process the transaction, and send out another information through XML or JSON to the user saying success, your credit card has been charged, or confirmation number, blah blah blah, so to speak. Any questions about this overarching idea?
No.
Now, a lot of these you can't see. It's just kind of conceptual thing, and that's where it used to kind of get me initially. Like, how are all these things happening? Now, not one person, not on one engineer, would be able to establish all of this. This is so complex that different people have different skill set to actually um, to to handle these things. And that's why there's a lot of jobs out there in tech field. For example, you'll have engineers that work on the server side, and they're going to be just writing code on the server side, but they're going to need what's going to come in and what's going to go out. Okay. They're going to have expertise in SQL, not expertise, but know what queries. Sometimes they're given the queries. Okay. They don't even need to have to know the knowledge, but they're given the queries and they'll put it in the code, and they may just know the code. You have the front end developers that are developing the website and sending out XML, receiving XML, and JSON, and they may not know a whole lot about SQL. And then you have a database administrator. This guy, pretty much every company has, if they have a database, which they should, will have one person who's the top, the head of the database, and he's called the database administrator. And there could be multiple people sometimes. These guys are the experts, so to speak, on SQL. And they may not know other programming languages, but they can build a database, they can structure a database, and how to organize tables and so forth, and help out the other teams when other teams will reach out to them to, hey, we want to do this. What kind of query or search that I need to do, or SQL language I need to write, so that I can get that specific data. And the database administrator would be able to provide that. Now, I'm only going to show you some. I'm going to get your feet wet. You should be able to do far, uh, whatever you're going to learn, you're not going to use as much. We are still going to be overarching, in just in case if you ever have to fall in a situation where you have to use this technology, the SQL, much, then you shouldn't have any problem if you practice and learn this. Honestly, I was not so well with SQL when I went into the interview. I didn't study much. There were interview questions on SQL, and you have to be pretty fast at it. I wasn't very good, but I still got the job. So you don't have to know everything, and in some ways, you can still get away by not by saying that your automation, you don't use SQL as much, and therefore you don't have the practice. So those are going to be some of the interview strategies that I'm going to give you in case you forgot something, so that you don't get embarrassed. But it is totally okay if you don't know SQL and still be able to automate sites, as long as you don't have to tap into data. But sometimes what happens is you may have to test the database against what these developers are doing. Meaning that if the server side engineers wrote a code to execute a SQL query and display it to the customer, you should be able to use your automation to go into this database yourself, execute the same query, and double check, make sure that the developer made a mistake or not. That's one thing. Second thing is, you can also tap into the database of a company and take all the customer information from there, real customer information, username and password. And you can use those usernames and passwords to automate your website, automate your test cases. You don't have to have your usernames and passwords hard coded. You can take real time data. In fact, that's what we do. Uh, we take our real customers' data except for passwords. We take their username and we copy all the usernames, and we replace their secret password with the word password one, and we can access um, anybody's account with just their username and the password as password 1 and test it to see everything goes well or not. Now, uh, going back to environments just briefly, this is the production environment, by the way. Um, what are the other two environments that we talked about other than production?
QA environment and
QA environment.
Yeah, QA environment and what?
Dev
And
environment.
dev environment. Correct. So what generally will happen is this, if this is the production environment, this would be located somewhere very secure. And this is going to be the full-fledged real-time stuff. Now, if you have a QA environment and a dev environment, what they do is they probably take a few servers from here, okay, maybe this one line of servers, and they will put this in a building somewhere where your office is going to be somewhere downstairs. Okay, and they're going to create the same lab. They're going to create a smaller version of lab. So Amazon probably has a small section of servers in somewhere in their engineering office building where they have a database that's also set up as that environment. And QA and dev environment, both of them will be using from out of the same setup as a lab. What they will do is they're going to create partition, meaning they're going to divide their half the computers for dev and half of them for QA. Now, often what they do is they take the real world database data and they're going to copy everything into your QA environment and into your dev environment. Now, this is called a DB refresh. Okay. So when you have a dev environment that you've been working on, every now and then they're going to have to go into the production environment and copy the production data into the dev environment data. Can somebody tell me why they may need to do that? Why do they need to do DB refresh?
Because you always, whenever you update the current version to a newer version, so you just pull the production environment code.
Yes, same concept actually. Let's say you've been testing as a tester, you've been testing a user called Jamal at Amazon.com or something. And you usually go in and log in and use this customer. Okay. What if Jamal one day in production environment changes his username to, I don't know, Mike at Amazon.com. Now, your automation that you're working on, you created the automation that's going to work in dev environment, and same automation is going to have to work in QA environment, and then same automation you want to do it in production environment and make sure that it's working. The test case is working. Now, guess what? It's going to work in dev and QA environment. And when you're going to try to log in as Jamal at Amazon.com in production, it's not going to work because he just changed his username and you don't have the latest username. So every once in a while, you'll see a couple of test cases fail because something's changed in production database that's production database is the latest, but you have the older version of the production database. Therefore, you're going to ask your database administrator saying, hey, guy, we need a DB refresh in dev environment, or we need a DB refresh in QA environment. And he's going to take maybe a couple of hours to copy this whole production database with the latest usernames and whatnot into those environments. And he might tell the whole company saying that, hey, a DB refresh is going on for your dev and QA environment. So don't test anything at this time because it may fail, or testing won't assist anything. It's not going to give you the right data. Okay. So any questions?
No.
That's just to give you a heads up what to see in a company. That's not going to be in your interview, but just to open up your eyes on what is happening out there. I want to start with very basic and then go into writing queries. So what is data? Data is nothing but just facts related to any kind of object. For example, it could be name, age, height, weight, social security number, credit card number, or anything you can think of that a company might find useful in saving and using. And sometimes you will see these data are connected. Then what is database? Database is any organized collection of data. Now, it just cannot be random data. You have to find some sort of relationship between the data to put into the database. You, as a database administrator, are going to design how this table of data should be, what columns need to be, and they have all logical reasons behind it. It has to support electronic storage and manipulation. If you cannot manipulate this, then it's not part of database. You may have data, but it's not considered database if it's not electronic. Now, there are some examples, real world examples of where you need data. You got the telephone book, you got TV guide, airline reservation system where all the prices and airlines with the dates are located, motor vehicle registration records, your vehicle information, sometimes your score on driving records. All of those things are placed in a database. Kind of like your papers you have in your filing cabinet. Obviously, that's not a database because you cannot electronically access it. But if you put those in some sort of storage, electronic storage where you can retrieve them, that becomes a database as well. Files on your computer hard drive is stored as a model of the database. So that's how data is accessed. Whenever you open up a picture or open a file, your computer has a way to access it from your computer storage, just like a SQL database format. So, but you don't see it. It happens in the back end. One of the other real world example of database usage is Facebook. Facebook stores and manipulates and presents your images and statuses of people, of your friends and activities to you, to connected members. So, and also it provides advertisement and a lot of other intelligent features, such as it will suggest you for certain advertisement. Uh, it might even tell you that, hey, you know these friends, you may know these friends. Do you know these friends? Do you want to submit a friend request and so forth? Those are some of the intelligent features that are being used with the database of all the other friends that are there. It's trying to make a connection between those tables, as a matter of fact, if you want to look at it very raw. Now, how does it look like inside the database? Well, we can't really see how it looks like because it's just a code. What is a database? It's a storage of software storage, data storage that you can't really see. It's not like a real world shelf. But logically, they are like this. They are full of tables, and tables have different columns. And these are, I just noted the column names here. So if you look at this particular first table, it's called collection. And then a couple other tables here: collection note, collection file, collection file item. These arrows are showing that certain column has connection to certain column in another table. For example, this column here, collection, where this column header is called ID. So under the ID, you're just going to put a unique ID underneath that. And that ID is the same ID as collection ID on this particular table, which is called collection file. Okay, and then that might be the same connection ID way down here for this particular table. So if somebody adds a new collection ID, automatically that collection ID should be added in this table, this table, this table, or what other tables that it's connected to. And there's these plenty of other fields that have connections to one another, uh, logically organized for a certain purpose, is how this database is constructed, or all databases are constructed. Now, if you're not the architect, you don't have to worry about what connects to what, okay? But this presentation, or this, how this graph looks like, it's called a schema of the database. Basically, schema is the blueprint of how the database is structured. Now, looking at this schema, it gives you an idea of how many tables are there, what data is very common between them, and you can make some intelligent choices, like you can guess on these. Well, you can see these table headers and do your queries, searching them a little bit better if you look at it this way, other than just looking actually into the table, because there's so much data out there in the table, it can get very messy. So this schema comes in very handy when you go work for a company and they ask you to work in a database. You should ask for a database schema for that company and study it and try to understand, make sense of this. In my company, my first year and a half, it's been 2 years in my company, but year and a half, I did not use database. Nobody required me, but now I'm in a team where they are heavily asking me to test the database. So it's I'm getting my experience build up through that. Uh, it, if you don't practice, you won't understand. Now, this whole process of managing data, pulling data, is called in short, RDBMS, or database, which stands for Relational Database Management. Database is DB, and management system is MS, so Relational Database Management System. You may encounter this word, but it's nothing but just an overarching um, acronym for for you to understand that it's just gonna manage this whole database thing, and it has some relations between them, but sometimes they just go hand in hand with database management system, or DB. Okay, so but just to throw it out there, don't panic if you see that. Same thing. So what do we have? We, at the very top, we have Relational Database Management System, or RDBMS. And RDBMS consists of database. Now, it could have multiple databases there. That's why we wanted to have something higher than that, which is a management system, which may contain one or more databases inside. Now, what's inside a database? They are tables, interconnected. You're going to see two tables. We're going to work with a customer table and order table, and you'll see how they're connected together today. Inside the table, you have fields, and these fields are column headers, like customer ID field, customer name field, address city, and so on and forth. Inside the table, you also have a record, or it's the same thing as a row. A row of data is going to have a customer ID, customer name, address, and city. We'll refer this to as a record. And columns are basically vertical. Vertical is going up and down. Vertical entity consists of specific field related data. With that, there's really nothing much in here. Let me move forward to the next slide. This is the customer table that we're going to be working with, and you have these fields, customer ID field, customer name field, and so forth. You have records. Each row is a record of data pertaining to those fields, and you have these columns. And columns consist of same type of data that the field is going to specify. Later down the road, I'll show you how to create a table, but we want to take some baby steps, easy ones first before we go into some hard ones. So what is SQL? And you might get this in the interview. It's some people pronounce it SQL. Others will say SQL. I've seen most folks in my industry say SQL. So I would recommend say SQL instead of SQL. I've seen some folks think if you say SQL, then you probably don't know how to pronounce it and you don't have the experience. I get that kind of attitude. And they think if you say SQL, then you probably been in the market for a while and you know that this can be pronounced as SQL. So just FYI. What it stands for is Structured Query Language. Just memorize that because interviewer will ask you, what does SQL stand for? And these are typically the recruiting agents will ask you because they don't know much about technology. They just have some scripts that they're going to check with you and they're going to check you off and then say, oh, this guy is real and we're going to move him to a face-to-face interview and that will be your job. So structured stands for that the relationship that we saw, and query means question. And with structured query language, you're going to be asking for data from database and it's going to give it to you. So that's the language that we're going to learn today. It is used for storing, manipulating, and retrieving data from databases. And these bullets are very refined. So for you to study, if I were you, I would take notes on this, meaning I would create note cards. One strategy I like to do is take a blank sheet of paper and write these things in very short and pack that paper with all the information and carry it with me and memorize it. Trust me, folks, you must know this right off the bat, and practicing talking about it. It's going to help you in the interview. First couple of interviews you're going to go to, you're going to see how much we overestimate ourselves that, oh, I know this or I can say this. But when you go face to face, you're like, oh my God, I forgot. And that's a good thing because that will give you an idea of how to come back home and plan back and get yourself back out there. Now, you can use SQL query to do several things. Common things are insert data, search for data, update the table, delete data, and a lot more. But I'll just show you a handful of things that you may or may not even need. But there might be some interview questions around it. If you know them, that really bonus points for you. Now, the same database idea, there are a whole lot of companies out there that are creating software for it, meaning the software to store, retrieve data in a memory location. But these are the main ones. MySQL is by far the most used. And And that's the one you installed in your computer. And then some of the other ones that you might encounter is Microsoft SQL Server, MS Access, Oracle's, several other types, and there's a Postgres, and folks, there are more. But in the interview, you're gonna say that you have experience with Microsoft Access. Don't worry about it, what that is. Just say that, uh, and you can say that you have experience with MySQL. And all of these use same sort of SQL query language, and they have to, as a matter of fact, because they are part of something called American National Standard Institute. This institute has standardized the SQL language. So if you want to be accepted by it, the companies will have to create their database system software to follow this language. That's a good thing because you can learn one SQL language and use it across multiple different platforms or softwares or different companies. So what I'm going to teach you, no matter which company you go to, I promise this language will be there. It won't change. This is not something that's going to change that easily because it has been standardized. The other thing is some of these companies will use all the code that's ANSI standardized, and they may have a few more commands that are just unique to their own company. Those you have to pick up on if you extensively work with database when you get hired. Chances are slim, but just know that I said that. And if you fall in a situation like that, then I'll give you resources so that you can go in and find those information that you need. Any question about what is SQL?
Not yet.
Okay, good. Moving on, then in general, what can SQL do? A lot of things. I'm not gonna read through this, but I'll walk you through every one of these steps of SQL's capability. So let's get our hands dirty. These are some of the codes, some of the keywords that we're gonna be using. First, today's class, I'm just gonna show you select. Next few classes, we'll probably bundle this together and do a lot more. But let's take a look at select. Select is the by far easiest and most used keyword in database usage. All the other ones are typically used less and more used by database administrators, so you may not see them. But a 95% chance or time you will be using the query that starts with the keyword called select. And what it does is this will extract data from a database, meaning it will bring the data out and show you. So you're going to be asking for a certain set of data, it's going to show you, and that's the word you're going to use. So let's take a look at how it's done. Before we get into the syntax of how to use select, let me introduce you to a website called W3 School. So let me go in here. You're not going to be able to see it yet unless I change the share. Second. Okay, this website is called w3schools.com and it's free. Everybody has access to it. This has pretty much everything, every language, computer language that you need to learn, software language that you need to learn in here with all tutorials and study materials for free. It's a lot. You'll probably also see HTML that you learned. There's a lot of advertisements and here and there. and you have to sift through quite a bit to get information. Other than that, it's not bad. It's free. So you're welcome to go in there and look at it. But I will condense everything in my presentation to save you the time of going through this too many words in here. So anyway, but you will see there's a SQL tab here, and there are these instructions, and you can go in here and it's gonna tell you how to use that the SQL language. All the way down here, you can also take a quiz and have a certificate, SQL certificate, which is also free. Last time I checked, and I'm not probably gonna have you get the SQL certificate, but later down the road when we're done with SQL, I might have you take a test here in one sitting to see how you perform. But I am going to build you to it. So every class is gonna give you similar type of questions that are gonna be in here so that you can pass. So no worries there. Now, this site also gives you a an editor, meaning where you can query. It gives you a database. Let me show you that. So for you to get to it, easiest way would be if you go to my slide right here, and these two icons are going to take you there. So if you click on this icon where it says W3 Schools, it's going to take you to this page. And this page is where we're going to be practicing the database that we have. So, and here, these are the tables, and this is the database system with all the tables that are there. Let me zoom in. So we're going to be practicing right here. So let me do this. Let me split up this over here and bring half of this here. Let me know if I need to zoom in further. Are you able to see it okay?
Yes.
All right. So here's the first command structure. You're going to first write the word select. And after that, let's see here. You're going to type in the column names, whatever the columns that you want to display. And if it's one column, you can just put in one column. If it's multiple columns, you put comma in between them. And then type in the keyword from, and then type in the table name, close it with semicolon, and you're done. And if you hit enter, it's going to display something for you. Now, semicolon or semicolon is used to separate execution of multiple SQL statements. Meaning if you have two statements here, two select statements, another one, for example, you have to have this semicolon to say that there's two of them. And you can have multiple and execute whichever one you want in real life. But that's just the rule that you have to put in. Some softwares may not require it if you only have one statement. But for our going forward, everything you write, I want you to put in a semicolon in the end of it, okay? So let's take a look at this first thing that we're going to do here. We have this display specific column data from customers table. So let's take a look at here. And if we can zoom in to this side, let's take a look at how this table looks like. So if you click on customers, it's going to display this part for you. And this is the customer table. All of this data with a whole bunch of customers here. See total about 91 customers. Also, it tells you number of records, 91. And this is the query that it actually did to show that, but I don't want you to worry about that right now. Let's say I want to use this syntax and display the customer name, customer first name, last name, and which country they're from. If I wanted to display these 3 columns from this table, and guys, the table that you're gonna see in your company is not gonna be this easy. It's gonna have probably 15 columns, guys, and it's gonna be interconnected with so many things. You don't want to display everything in that table, because you'll have to scroll to the right, slide to the right, and not make much sense out of the data. You forget this person was connected to which country. So you want to have a small section of display of the table. This one is easy because it only has what, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 columns here. But anyway, let's say I wanted to display customer name, let's forget about the contact name, customer name, and we want to display the country. Here's what you're going to do. First, write select. Now, typically, these keywords are all uppercase. Now, if I write it lowercase, it will still work. It doesn't look that pretty though. So I'm just going to write it all uppercase. I encourage you to write it uppercase as well. It helps if you have it uppercase, because often when you work for a company, the software you're going to be using, you only have to write SE. It's going to give you a suggestion and you hit enter. It's going to type the rest for you. Okay. If you write lowercase SE, it might think it's a table name or something and suggest you something wrong. So that's why a good practice to keep these keywords always all capital. Okay. Now, next thing, give it a space and write the column name. Customer name. Notice I have to type this customer name exactly as it appears. If I don't, even this uppercase N, it's going to throw an error. Same thing for country. Okay. So I type the name country. Okay. Are you with me so far?
Yeah.
You can keep your mic open and communicate with me. If I'm going too slow, move me forward. Next, you can type this from which table right here. Generally, this is how it's written when you go working for a company. But I want to bring it down here so that it's visual to your eye. It's easy to your eye. It works if I write it here as well. As long as I don't put a semicolon here, if I put a semicolon here, it's going to think you stopped right here. But if I don't, computer is still waiting for me to finish. So it's going to come back here. With the word from, you put in the table name. And the name of the table is customers. That is also case sensitive, meaning if it's a capital C here, you have to put capital C there. So let's type in exact customers. If it's a plural, must be plural. Finish it up with a semicolon and click this called Run Sql, and you have the customer name, all the customer names, and only displaying which country they're from. If I kept the S out of here and ran SQL query, it gives me an error saying could not prepare statement 1, no such table called customer. So that they couldn't find a table called customer, but there's a table called customers. So you come in here, it gave you a hint where the error is, You put an S, try again. Yep, now I got it. What if I did this lowercase n here and did a query? It's intelligent enough to pick up on this, but if you encounter an issue with that, it's gonna give you an error. Let me just take this n out and look at the error. It says no such column called customer aim. So I'm like, where did I write that? Let me see. Oh, there you go. I made a mistake right there. So let me just fix that. In that case, I'll go in here and say okay and fix this to customer name, right? And run the query. There I go. If you see the query, you're fine. If you don't see the data coming up, then you did something wrong and you need to fix that. Any questions so far?
None so far.
All right, cool. It's 10:30 almost. Let's take 5 minutes break and we come back and really go fast on this, hopefully. So see you shortly. Hey, you all back?
No,
Yes, we're here.
Okay. Did you grab a pen and a paper?
Yep.
Okay, I'll give you some practices to do as we do this. So we're gonna need them shortly. All right. I have these queries, by the way, in the slides, so you're welcome to use it and study, refresh it. So now, what if I wanted to display all column data, meaning the entire table? Over here, I was able to click on it, and this gives me the entire table. But in your database that you downloaded, which is the actual what you're going to be working in a company for, there won't be something. Yeah, actually, you can also click there, but most folks don't do that. Okay, they just use the command to display everything, and that's the star icon. So if you use the star symbol, first you write the word select, meaning display. In other words, display, but you don't want to say which column name. You just want all the columns. Then you're going to use the symbol star, which is Shift 8. If you press Shift, press and hold Shift and press the number 8, it's going to give you that star icon. And that's it. And that says that you want all the column names. And then you go in here and you have to say from which table. And you could say, let's say, customers. Same. Customers table, semicolon close, hit search, and there you have your table. Customers table, 91 records. If you wanted to display orders tables, just change to orders. Select star from orders, and there you go. Some of the recruiters are going to ask you, how do you select all data from products table over the phone? And you have to answer just by this. You have to read it out in your mind and say, select star from products. Okay. And hit SQL search, and that's it. And again, the recruiters have a script. They have the question and the answer written on a piece of paper. They don't know what in the world it is, and they will ask you these questions, and you just answer. If you got the answer right, then they're going to move you forward to a real interview with the real company. If you get to that level, your success rate is very high. Pretty much, they're going to hire you. So, anyway, let's go a little bit deeper into the statements. Now, what if I want display all column data from customers table? Well, I've done that. Display unique column data from customers table. Let's take a look at this. Let's take a look at customers right here. And look at this column right here. Country column. Notice that there's Mexico several times, Germany several times there, and there are duplicates. Okay. There may be France a couple of times I saw. What if you just wanted to know the list of countries, right? Just a list of countries that are in here. You don't want to sift through and write, oh, Germany, then Mexico. Okay, don't write Mexico. Now you got UK, because I already wrote Mexico. That's a lot. I mean, you as a software engineer, you should be able to search this and say, give me a list of countries only. Okay? And leave the duplicates out. The word for that is called distinct. Distinct means unique. So what we're going to do is we're going to structure this query to give us distinct of or unique of this. Okay, so something like this, we're going to say same thing, select. Okay, and because you don't want duplicates in this is where you're going to specify which column you want. So I'm going to say select distinct, and specify the column, country. Okay, and then now you have to say from where? From customers. Right? And if I do the query, it's only going to give me a list of countries without any duplication. Okay? Notice. Who can tell me what could have helped me with reading this information better if this table was displayed a bit differently, if this data was displayed a bit differently?
Alphabetically?
Yes, Tony, that's correct. If this was sorted out, that would have been easy for my eye to look at it. Well, I'll show you that in a little bit, but not now. So let's take a look at orders table. Let's see if there's any duplicates here. There's this employee ID. Notice you got this 5 and 5. Whoever this employee is has an ID of 5, and there's duplicate. And I don't know how many, and there's so many in there. So if I wanted to get distinct employee ID, then what I could do is, how about Shobos, tell me what to write on here.
Select distinct custom employee ID from is that order, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from orders.
Orders. And notice I don't have to write orders table. He knows that orders is a table. When you say from, he's looking for a table. So with that keyword from, it's gonna only check the list of tables that's in the computer. You don't have to say orders table. All right, now if I say, give me the query, and there you go. You have 9 different employees that took order, possibly this month or whatever is in the record. Any questions about these 2 queries?
Not yet.
Now, generally, they will give you how many records are there, which is 9. But what if I didn't want to see how many employees there were? I don't want to see who these numbers are, 5, 6, 4, and 5. I just want to know how many people made a sale today. Okay? Sometimes you as a manager, you want to see how many folks made a sale today, this month, and compare that with next month. What you can do is you can add a SQL function called count and wrap this distinct employee data around it, and it will just display how many. Now notice this function or method has this parenthesis. Whenever there's a parenthesis, you have to put what do you want to count inside the parenthesis. Okay, you're gonna see this heavily used in Java, so I'm getting your feet wet right now. These are baby steps for you. So if I don't want you to display me the distinct IDs, but I want to know how many of those distinct IDs are there, then I'm going to take this particular data and I'm going to wrap this data inside a parenthesis, and I'm going to put the function name right there. Okay? So this is where I'm going to write the word count, and it's going to count that distinct number for me. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to say count and wrap this inside the parentheses. And now if I click run SQL queries, only going to display how many employees made a sale today. Questions?
No.
Next, these are some common functions that SQL has that we may periodically use. You just saw how to use count. We'll also get a chance to use average, minimum, maximum, and sum is when it's going to add everything together. Okay, average is when it's going to add everything together and divide it by the number of items it was added in it. Here's a practice. So if you have a piece of paper handy, I want you to, all of you, to go ahead and give me a query. And we're going to type it in here to see if it yields anything good. Here's the first one. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more. Yeah, there's your first query. Get all the columns from the employees table. So go ahead and write that out in a piece of paper. I'm going to pick on you. So let's take a few, maybe like 30 seconds. Anybody needs more time?
No, I'm done.
Okay, Shobuz, go ahead.
So it's a select star from employee.
Okay, did you all get the same?
Yeah.
All right, next one. Get last name and first name columns from the employees table. Let's take 30 seconds. Anybody need more time?
I don't think so. I think I got it.
Okay. Tony, what you got?
Select first name, uppercase F, uppercase N, comma, last name, uppercase L, uppercase N, from employees, semicolon.
Great. Good job. Here's the next one. Get all the different values of the order ID column from the order details table. Notice, hint, hint, different values is the same thing as unique. Okay. So 45 seconds. Anybody needs more time?
No.
Okay, Haley, you want to go this time?
Yeah. Select distinct order ID from order details semicolon.
Yes. Good job. Next, get total number of different values of the order ID column from the order details table. So we're only looking for the total number of those unique values. Let's take 45 seconds. Anybody needs more time?
I don't think so. I'm not for sure if I did it right, but I think I did it right.
Yeah. I know right now you're at that age where
Volunteer?
a little bit, huh?
I can volunteer. You just gotta correct me if I'm wrong.
Sure, go ahead.
So select how open parentheses distinct order ID close parentheses from order detail semicolon.
Yes.
Okay. All right. That's good.
Good job. All right, I think that was it for that practice. So let's move on to just a second. Zoom out of this. I lost my setup here. 1 second. Okay. Now we're going to do something called where. We're going to bring in this keyword. This is for filtering data from columns, meaning you want to refine your data even farther from that specific column. You're going to have to use this keyword called where. How does it set up? It's going to go right after the table. So you got this select, you have the column names, or you can put a star to display all columns. Then you have the from, the table name, and now you say where, and you want to specify a few more conditions where you want to filter out the data. Now this condition comes in 3 parts. 1, you have to write the column name that you want to add condition on. And right after the column name, you're going to put some sort of symbolic operator, symbolic or text operator, meaning what do you want to do with that column? What do you want from that column? And then you have to add value to that column. Now, you know what a column name is. You don't know what operator could be. It's a list of these. You can use any one of these symbols. You already know these, equal, greater than, and so forth. This is not equal. So when you use the symbol, it's like, I don't want this equal to that. For numerical data, you can use this. If you can also use this for text data. Okay, so not just numbers, but also text data. I'll show you some examples. The other ones are called between, and this is where you specify a range of data. If you see a pattern, you can use the word like. And if you want to pick and choose, you can say in, and you can pick and choose from there. I'll show you some examples of that now. When you specify what kind of value goes in, either it could be a text. If it's a text in SQL, you have to place single quotes around the text value. Okay. If it's a number, you don't have to put any quotes. Okay, single quotes for text value and no quote needed for numeric value. Now let's take a look at an example. So here we got display all records from customers table for the country Mexico. So let's expand this out a little bit. And here's the customers table. I just need to display all the records for the country Mexico. Why? I just need to see how many orders, how many customers are there in Mexico for any particular business reasons. So this is what we're going to do. Same thing that we learned. Select. And let's say I want to display all records. So, and question says all records, you put a star. Since it has all records. Okay. You put a star. Come back down here. Immediately, you have to mention which table it's from. It's customers. Okay. Drop down one more step. And you want to specify a condition. So you put where, the keyword. And here comes your three-part syntax. First part is column name. You have to write the name of the column. In this case, we have the country. Okay, and that will go right there first. So I type in country. Okay, and I only want Mexico. So Tony, which operator might be best for this one?
For only wanting Mexico, operator as in the single print.
Correct. The mathematical symbol that I want to use here.
Oh, okay. Equal.
Yep. With an equal sign, I just want everything that has Mexico in it. And this is a text data. This is a numeric data. But this is the text data. Text data has to be encapsulated inside single quote. And you put in the word Mexico. Semicolon to close. And search. Notice now all data I have in this table are nothing but Mexico. Okay. We have 5 customers in Mexico. Question?
Nope. Nope.
Next one, display records for order ID 10253 from orders table. So how are we going to do that? Here's the orders table. And there's order ID. And you want to find this particular order ID 10253. You want to check all of these guys. There could be multiple of these, but you just want to check this order ID and see under that ID which customer, which employee did that, and so forth, and date. okay, for some reason. So how are you going to do that? Same. Select and first question you're going to ask right after select is, what do I need to display? Well, in here, display records, it didn't say any specific column. If it doesn't tell you all records and it doesn't tell you a specific column, it means all records. So I'm going to put a star because it didn't say what to display. I'm going to display everything. Okay. Next question, when you put the word from, you have to ask yourself, which table? So you go back in here. It says orders table. Okay. And guys, interviewer is going to ask you in random order. All right. And you try to answer that question without you writing things down, you're going to make a mistake. So a strategy is when your interviewer asks you a SQL query, as he will ask you similar to this format, you have a piece of paper and pen ready, and you tell him, please repeat slowly so I can write it down. You write this down and you sort out what's the table name, what's the column name to display, and that's going to help you a lot. Right now, I'm not going to do that strategy because these are pretty simple. But later down the road, I'm going to show you some queries that are very complex. And I'll show you how to dissect it so you can answer the query better. Okay. From table name, orders table. And I'm going to type in orders. And it says for order ID that. I just want that. So where I'm going to say where order ID, and I can look at the column name. There's the order ID. This is how it's written. So I have to write it exactly the way it is. Order ID. Okay. And order ID. Because it's only asking for a specific one, I'm going to put an equal sign. And Haley, do I need single quote on this one?
No.
Good. Because why?
With the number?
Because it's a number. I don't need single quote. Finish it with the semicolon and hit search, and I got only one, as a matter of fact. One record. Let's try that with another. Customers table. What if I wanted zip code that? So I would do select star from customers, where, and as I'm typing this, you try to have a query in your mind ready and compare to what I'm typing, where postal code equals, and because it's a number, I don't have to worry about putting quotes around it. Semicolon to close. And I did something wrong here. Let's see. Did it not like my copy pasting? Five zero 05023, where postal code equals, let's do this one, yeah, 05023. That's odd.
I think there is no space on the equal sign. I don't know.
It generally works with or without space. So
Oh, okay.
the only thing I can think of is, even though this is number, but it may have been set up with this postal code as a character. So what you can do is
Oh,
put quote around it and then see what if that works. What that means is the database administrator probably added this as a character, not number, because he's thinking you're never going to do any mathematical comparison or operation for this. So you know that your letters, your characters have also numbers in them. And sometimes you categorize them as number only so that you can do mathematics on it. So that's my guess. Let's see. Select star from customers where postal code, and the errors you're going to get in here are not always great, because this one didn't tell me what was the situation. 05023 semicolon to close and hit search, and now I have it. Okay. Now I have the record. Question?
no.
No.
Now, if I wanted to display all data from order details table, let's take a look at it. Order details. Here's all data. Where quantity is less than 50, here's a quantity, meaning how many product did they order. This is a wholesale company. And there are some folks that ordered more than 50. Look at this, 60 right here. 50, 65, 50. But let's say in your company you have a big discount for anybody who orders 50 and greater, and for people that order less, they don't get that discount. So you wanted to find out how many people ordered less than 50. So here's what we're going to do. Select star, all of them, from what table was this? Orders, order details. Order details. We're done here. Where quantity less than 50. So you just write the quantity column name. You put the less than symbol, and 50. Shobos, do I need quotations around it?
Yes, since it's number, I think we need. Sorry, yeah, we don't.
We don't, because it's a numeric value. And generally, because notice that you can do less than. If it's a character, you can't. I don't know. I mean, there's ways to do that too. Java will give you a less than, but that information is not going to make any sense to you. But numeric, we're really looking at what's less than 50. And the database administrator has to put a numeric data type for this, for that to happen. Search query, look, everything we got here is now less than 50. It's not even going to include anybody that has 50. It's going to be less than 50. And there's a lot. There's 454 orders found that are buying with that. If I wanted to do greater, wanted to see how many people are buying in bulk, I do a greater than symbol, and I got 44 people that are buying in bulk. 60, 65, 70. Here's 100. Looks like 120, and so forth. Question about those two symbols.
Oh.
If I wanted to display unique order detail data from my order table where product ID. Okay, so notice I need unique order details. This is from order details table. here's the table. Unique order details ID. Here's order details ID. These are the specific orders. There won't be any duplicates anyway in here. Where product ID, this is greater than 20. So I would construct that as select star from order details where I'm going to say product ID is greater than 20 and check the result. And product ID, we got all greater than 20. Okay. Next one, display all data from table where quantity of 50 and above. So order details table, if I wanted quantity 50 and above, so including 50, then what you do is change quantity. This is the quantity. And symbol that you want is greater than or equal to 50. This will include that 50 with it. I think the symbol goes in, I spelled it wrong, quantity. Quantity, there you go. Now it includes the 50 and above. Okay, if I wanted 50 and less, I could say less than or equal to 50, and it's still gonna give me the 50 and anything less than 50 as well. Okay. Display all records from suppliers table excluding Italy. Here's suppliers table. We have some folks that are in Italy, but you don't want that because you stopped doing business with Italy, suppose. So you want to display everything, but not Italy. How are you going to do that? Well, select star from suppliers. Table where you have to specify the column name, country, and you have to say not equal to Italy. And not equal to symbol is this angle brackets, 2 angle brackets. And if I say Italy, Haley, do I need quotations around Italy or no quotations?
Yes, because it's not a number.
Good job. Italy and semicolon to close, run the query, look at the data now. No Italy. It's gone. Next, display all data from order table for product ID from 25 and 49. Let's take a look at order details here. So here we go, order details. And here we have product ID right there. And there's a whole lot of product IDs here. But what if I just wanted product ID between 25 and 49? What does that mean? That means there could be a certain type of product that has ID from 25 to 49. I just want to, that's my department. I just want to deal with those products only. Then here's what I'm going to do. I have to specify a range. So first I'm going to type in select star from, same deal every time, order details and where I'm going to go with product ID and this time because it's not unequal, and I want to specify a range from 25 to 49, I'm going to say between, the word between, all caps, and I'm going to say 25. And you have to say the word and, 25 and 49. Okay, between 25 and 49. Now, if I run the query, all of these numbers for product ID, now it's going to show me between 25 and 49. Question?
No.
No.
Oh, my computer died because.
Yeah, there's, it's not a bracket or anything. You have to put an and between. So whenever you type in the word between, computer's looking for two numbers and an and in the middle of it. And that will help you. Next one is all data from orders table, where order ID is, you've seen this, but you can use the word like instead of an equal sign. Equal sign and the like works very similar. Let's take a look at these customers, and I can say city Berlin. I want all of them that has the city Berlin in it, and I don't want to put an equal sign, so let's see how we're going to do this. Select star from customers where city like quotation Berlin, and run the query. It gave you Berlin. So not much difference in the equal sign and the like. And what if I wanted to pick and choose? For example, order details table. If I wanted like order ID to be 10 to 48, 10 to 53, so I want these orders, 10 to 53, which is right here and here and here, and 10 to 73, which is somewhere down here. Okay. I don't have the time to go look at it, so I want just the table to show me that. You're gonna use the keyword in. So first thing, select star from order details where specify order ID column name, order ID, specify a condition, which is in, and now specify your list of items in parentheses. And in here, I'm going to type in 10 to 48, comma, whatever you want, 10 to 53, and 10 to 73. And if I now execute the query, it's only going to give you those and no more. And there's 11 records. And you can use this data for whatever purpose you have. Can I include multiple conditions? Yes. How? You can use the keyword and or not. Let's take a look at this. I want to display all records from Germany and only for city Berlin. So let's take a look at the customer here. Here is Germany, and you got Berlin. And you got another Germany, you got Mannheim as a city. I don't want those other cities. I just want Germany and Berlin. So how are we going to do that? Here we go. So same thing. You have the select star from customers. Specify where and you want country to be Germany. So you say country equals Germany. Now you can say the word and. If you type and here, database is looking for another condition where it's going to have the first part, the operator, the column name, operator, value. Okay. So the next column you wanted to add was city. So you would type in the column name city, operator equals, and value Berlin. Close it with semicolon saying you're done. And run the query, and you have only Berlin data displayed. It happens to be just one at this point, but you know, if there's more, then it would have displayed a lot more of these. Questions so far, guys?
No questions. Following through.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to go a little bit faster. Display all records for Germany or Spain, meaning any. If there's anybody in Germany, display it. If there's anybody in Spain, display it. So same thing. Select star from customers, where country is Germany, and this part right here, I don't care about Berlin anymore. You just display all. Or country equals quotation Spain. Two conditions, 1 and 2, and it's going to display all of them that have Germany, Spain, Germany, Spain, Germany, and Spain, and no other countries. Display all records excluding Germany. Okay. So if I wanted everything except I don't want Germany, right? You saw the other operator that we had with the angle brackets, which is a not Germany. We could do it that way. But if we had multiple conditions, let's say I want to display, this is not a good example. Let me see what I have here. Yeah, let me make up something. That's not a best example. But let's see, London. How many times I got London right here? Twice. And then you have another UK with some other city, maybe, I don't know. But suppose I want all countries, particularly with UK. No, let's do something. Display Germany and Mexico. And let's see. All right, I want to make something up here. From customers where, let's get a couple of conditions here. Let's say I want Germany and UK. Country. Who can tell me, instead of me writing country equals Germany and country equals UK, this is going to give me only those countries. Did I spell something wrong, guys?
Did the UK were
Yeah, not for sure. Germany, yes. So something with the UK.
So maybe UK. All right. Country equals UK. Is it K lowercase? Something wrong with that?
Yeah. United Kingdom.
No, I thought it's doing like that.
Okay, there might be some typo in there, but let me try another country then.
Like Mexico.
Yeah. This database is not perfect, guys, and you'll find some pitfalls in it. It's not your fault, but it's educational purposes design, not that great. Country equals lowercase Mexico. We know that worked last time. So if I say and for country equals Germany and Mexico,
It's not like that and.
it's not liking an and. So what's my workaround? Who can tell me that?
Or you do or and you don't put countries, you just put or single
Just Mexico.
and just Mexico.
So and is not working here, or is working.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just do or.
Do you have to put or country, or do you have? Or you can just put or. You don't have to put the country.
I don't know if this might work, but I wouldn't bet for it to work. It's not recognizing this one.
Okay. All right.
So just leave it like that. Now here's a pop quiz. We know that or gives me these two countries and doesn't work, but what can I do to simplify these two statements? There's another command you can use that I just went over. Can you think of what can you do? What other conditional operator you can use to condense all this?
Just comma.
But what would be the operator? Operator is this equal symbol.
Oh, okay.
Do you remember pick and choose?
In.
In, correct. So what you do is instead of writing this way, you can just say country in, and in
Open
here you put this brackets, and whatever you place here is going to get picked. So
Germany, comma,
Germany,
Mexico,
and put a comma,
Mexico,
Mexico.
and then semicolon outside of the bracket.
Yep. And
then
done. You don't need all of that. And I hit the Sql right here, and there you go. You have it. Let me try UK now and see if that works. It was probably that and statement that didn't work. Notice that it's showing me. Okay. All right. Now, what if I wanted to add another condition here, which to include city Berlin from here? Okay.
you do an and.
So you say and
City.
but I'm saying not to include Berlin.
Oh, not include. Okay, so and then a not.
And then a not.
And then
City.
City equals Berlin.
Berlin. If this equal sign doesn't work, what's another operator can you use, Shobuz?
In.
It's a word. Not in, but the other one.
Yes. Yeah.
Like.
Like. You could say like. Okay. So let's try equal sign first. and do the query, and notice all Berlins are gone. I could also use the word like. All Berlins are gone. What if I wanted all London gone as well? Then I could also say and not city like London. All London's gone. Is there a limit to how many conditions you can put? No limit.
No.
No. And you can be as filtered as you want to be. All right? As complex as you want to make it. So here's another one. Display all records where country is not Germany nor USA. So how would I do that? Country. And I could say country and put this operator and say USA. Run the SQL query. It's going to give me everything but USA. And then say and not Germany. So country not Germany. Here I have the Germany. Run the query. Germany is gone. What's another way I can use this without this symbol and use the word not?
Just saying not where country, not USA.
Yeah.
Would I put the not here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or not here?
Before country.
Yes. This time the operator goes before.
Is in front of country, so not has to be in front of country.
Yeah, so the column name and value, this not word will go before the column name. So that's the only difference there. So let's try this. So we would say not country
Oh,
and would Mexico, let's say. So it's going to exclude all Mexico, but display everything else. Mexico syntax error. It's not liking it. Don't know why. Let's see this.
Is it not?
Where's the equal sign?
Yeah.
When
Not country
Yes.
equals Mexico.
Yes,
Semicolon.
I totally forgot that. Yes, correct. Not country. You do have to have an operator in between, but with this not word, it's going to make it not equal to. Okay, but unfortunately, this goes before the column name, not with it. Okay, so we have to write it before. So not equal to Mexico, but because you put not in front of it, it will be opposite of that statement. If you didn't have not in front of it, it's going to display all city with Mexico. But if you put not in front of it, it's going to display all country, sorry, not city, country except Mexico. Right here. Mexico is gone. If I wanted to exclude Germany as well, then I would say what? Notice
yeah.
we're putting another condition, correct?
Mm.
So
Each time-
and country
And
Country equals Germany.
equals Germany.
but we want to exclude, so you have to say not again.
Not. Yeah.
database is not seeing that this is that, but you could put this in parentheses. We'll get to that in just a second.
Oh, okay. That's what I was confused. I was like,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking was happening.
okay, that
Remember
makes sense.
PEMDAS algebra that you did in ninth grade? It's kind of the same thing. So
Okay.
let's say not
You. Uh-huh.
country equals, we wanted to get rid of Germany as well. And now if I hit search, Germany is gone, Mexico is gone from here. But I don't want to use this not. The database is looking at chunks. So here's where it's going to look for everything except it hits, until it hits an AND, which is right here. And then it's going to encapsulate this query.
Okay.
It's going to execute that. And then it's going to wait and then execute that. So if you didn't add not, it's going to try to have Germany. It might not come up with a good statement. So it's going to take all of that and execute that. But if you didn't want to specify this not, you could do this. I don't know if this platform will allow us. You could put a parenthesis here, country, and then take that off and close here. Okay. And we may have to change this and to a comma, but I don't know. Let's see. It got not country equals Mexico. It didn't work.
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't work. Let's see. If I do a comma here, not at all. And what if, come on guys, you can figure this out.
Or can you just do the country equal to Mexico, comma, Germany? No, with the parentheses.
Yes. So what if I did this?
Yeah.
How about now?
Yeah, that should work.
Yeah.
Still doesn't work. But again, this is not working for this platform here. Don't be surprised if this works for some of the SQL software that you're going to be working with. And this is where the differences come in for a different software like MySQL or SQL Server or Oracle or Postgres. And those are some of the tricky things that they may have there that is not standardized, and you may have to kind of play around and figure it out. Okay, but you don't have to be like that. You can always use the standard code to do your search, but if the software wanted to come up with shorter ways, then they may have some additional ways for you to do it, and just take advantage of that is my advice. So how complex can I make it? You can make it as complex as you want. And in some ways, you can use some parentheses. And you saw that. Here's one example of parentheses that works in this platform. Here's where I can say, display all records from Germany, where city is Berlin or Munich or München. I don't know how to pronounce it. So where country, I can just say like Germany, and city, okay. Somebody want to give me that?
You can put and, or you can just put or. Does it matter?
You can put or.
Oh, okay. I didn't know.
Actually, not. I would say and, because
Yeah, the country
you
Germany.
are connecting a statement with another statement here, and notice this is a country, but this is city.
Yeah.
It's a country like.
So those are two
Yeah,
different things. Now, if they were the same thing, like if that was another country, I would specify. I would put or. I can put or. Good point.
Yeah,
I didn't
yeah.
think
I
about bringing this up.
think
So let's say and first, huh? But now I have two conditions here. I have city Berlin or city München. Okay. So I can put that in the bracket. Okay. I can
okay.
put that in the bracket and say city equals
Berlin
Berlin. And now I can
Or-
put an or here.
or
City.
city equals München.
And now if I do the search, it's gonna like it. It didn't find any city Berlin, I guess, or München, or I didn't spell it correctly. Let me take a look at. Let me take this Mannheim. From customers where, let me bring the example here to look at it. Oh, it has a weird character on it. That's why. Country, like Germany, and city. Notice I can say city like Berlin or,
That line, the uppercase.
thank you, or city equals, I can mix it up. Mannheim, Mannheim, and search, and I got
Yep.
Berlin and Mannheim. Any question?
No.
So you see, you're able to mix and match as long as you are under kind of sort of a standard idea. You can use parentheses. If your parenthesis comes out very logical, then it works. The database is first gonna sip everything out from Germany, and then database is gonna move with an and statement to the next piece. Database is looking at a bracket, so he's gonna start this bracket and close this bracket and gonna process this whole thing. All right, and in this process, he's looking at city Berlin or city Mannheim, and you can put another or if you want to, and that will be fine. You can put another and here and have another condition in a parenthesis. Okay. The scariest thing is you can even have another query here. Select star from, meaning you're doing a query. SQL is going to come here first. It's going to query out what you queried here and then go in here and use that data to filter that. On a high level, do you see where I'm taking you?
Yeah.
Okay, so those are yet to come.
Mm.
But there's not a whole lot. Have I used one so far in my work? No. Is it possible to do it? Sure. The complicated the data is, you may have to embed. This is called nested queries. You have a query inside another big query. And there is also no limit to how many nested queries you can have. Imagine the intelligence human would have to have for you to actually come up with this. Nobody actually knows right away. If they want certain data, you as a database administrator will be sitting hours in front of those data and try to do queries like this and play, mix it up, match it. And when you have it right, then you're going to take that query and give it to your software engineers to use. Are you with me so far?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. Let's do a practice 2, and then we're going to take another break and come back. There's not a whole lot left. So I'll just explain the homework to you, and we should be good to go. So let me zoom in here. Actually, let's take a break right now. Let's marinate this, and then we'll come back and do the practice. So 5 minutes.
All right.
Everybody back?
Yeah, we're back.
All right, here's your first one to decode. Let's take 45 seconds. Select all records where the city column has the value Berlin. Okay, Loretta, what do you have?
I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I can go.
Okay, Tony?
Okay, so I think it's select star from customers where city equals single quote Berlin close quote semicolon.
Yes.
Okay.
Next one. Select all records where country is not France. 45 seconds. And write it down, because when you write it, it's gonna register in you, and you don't have to memorize things much. Anybody needs more time?
I'm done.
I can-
Haley, go.
Is that yes, select star where country where not country equal to France.
Correct. Next one.
Yeah.
Select all records where the customer ID column has the value 32. 30 seconds. Loretta, you can answer this one.
So select star from customer ID. Do I have to add column? I don't know.
Select star from customers, and then what's the next keyword?
From
From customers, and then what's the next keyword?
customer ID.
You have to specify where.
Column. And I have to go where?
Yeah, so it's gonna be like this.
Yeah.
Select star
Select
from
from
customers,
customer ID.
and then you have to specify where
Where? Customer
customer
ID
equals 32.
Equals 32. Yes.
Yeah. This time you don't need quotations because
Oh,
it's
yes.
a numeric value. Okay. Next one. Select all records where city column has value Berlin and postal code is 12209. 45 seconds. Remember, just copy the first part, okay? Everything is same here. First part. You just have to modify this where part.
I have it.
Okay. Go ahead.
So select star
Mhm.
from customer where postal code 12209
What symbol did you put in after postal?
equal.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I put first equal, then put it on the just 12209. I didn't put the quotation
Okay.
because it's the numbers.
Yeah, and then
But
there's two conditions. One, city column has value Berlin, and then postal code is that. So there's two conditions.
oh, okay, and I have to put and.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and post. I will say repeat again. If a select star from customer where where Berlin and postal code.
That's
No?
just when you said select where Berlin is just a value. You have to have three things with that Berlin.
Oh, okay.
You have to have the column name,
Uh-huh.
which is city,
City,
and then an operator, and then you have to say Berlin. What operator?
equal,
Uh-huh.
equal, Berlin.
Okay,
Put
just
it on the top. Yeah.
take a look at this
Mm-hmm.
and go ahead and copy this down. And
Right.
see, where you need to fill in the blanks here. And notice that there's two conditions. One, city equals Berlin.
Uh-huh. And postal code. Yes, I did. Yeah, I didn't do the Berlin city. I did the postal code only.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, so please add that in there.
Yes.
All right, one last one. Select all records of customer where city column has the value Berlin or London. And Shobuz, you can answer this one when you're done.
I think that select
hold on.
from.
Hold on, Shobuz. Let's take 30 seconds. Let them
Okay.
try it out as well.
Sorry.
All right. Go ahead, Shobuz.
Okay, I think it's a select star from customer where city equal to colon Berlin or colon London or city equal to London.
Yes, you have to specify what column again.
Yeah.
You can't just say or London. That's how it's written
Yeah.
when they ask you a question, but SQL language doesn't follow English language.
Right.
Could you put it in
Yeah.
bracket?
You can put it in bracket. For some software it will work, for some it doesn't. You saw that for this one didn't work. So your safest bet is going to be if you say there's two conditions here. One, you want city equals Berlin.
Or
Then another condition is city equals London, and you put that or statement in here. If you skip out on city equals, SQL is gonna get messed up. It won't understand. Okay, so you have to, when you put this connectors between these guys, if you use the word and, if you use the word or, you have to have three parts: column name, operator, and what value you want. Understand? All right. Any questions?
Nope.
Last part is called order by. Remember, we skipped out on, we wanted to order things up and set it up in a good, nice view. For example, we were right here when we were displaying these customer name and country. So, and Haley, give me a query to just display customer name and country. That's it, and nothing else.
Okay, it would be select star.
Not star.
Oh, okay, so it's not all. It's select customer name.
Mm-hmm. So I want these two columns. This one and this one. Name and country.
Okay, customer name, comma, country.
Correct. Not and. And then what?
From customer.
Uh-huh. And here, that's it, actually. This is gonna give you,
Yeah, because you're not getting a where statement.
yeah, customer name and country. But what if I wanted just from Germany? So Tony, what do I have to do?
Just from Germany.
Uh-huh.
Then you got to put a where statement.
equal, I think. Yeah.
Correct. You
Yeah.
first start with where, then what?
Country equals open single quotation mark Germany, and then yeah.
Did we get it?
Yes.
You see how I'm building this first, one at a time? This is how, by the way, the SQL administrators will be doing it same way. They don't come up with the entire query right off their head. They always do it in chunks to make sure that they're not making any mistake. So now that I have this, I don't like the way this is organized. I would like it to be more alphabetical, like A and the B and then C. But I got a D right here. So if I wanted to sort this out, what I can do is then next thing comes in the keyword called order by, right? And you type in the word order by. There's the syntax. So order by comes in very last. Order space by. Any kind of keyword will light up like this blue. And anytime you write a column name or table name, it's going to be black. Any value is going to be a different color. Now, these colors can change on different softwares. You can even decide how you want to change these colors to on those softwares. That's totally up to you. Now, for you to do order by, you have to specify which column, okay? And you can have multiple columns, all right? The two English word for ordering things, one is called ascending and the other is descending. Ascending, A-S-C-E-N, ascending is it's gonna go from A and then last one is gonna be Z. And descending DESCN descending, it's gonna be the opposite, which is Z, it will be first, and then A will be last. Now in SQL, it's short for ASC for ascending and DESC for descending. You have to specify which column you want for that to happen. So if I say order by customer name, so if I type in customer name here and say ascending, okay, just like that. Let me take this off. It could throw some error. Maybe not. Let me try this. Yeah, it's gonna throw some errors. Let me get this down up here from here. And if I do execute this query, notice now everything is in ascending order. Okay. T was the last highest letter, so it was down there. And A is the first one. If I wanted to do descending, I could just say DESC, do the query, T is gonna be at the top of the list, A is gonna be at the bottom of the list. What if I left it out? Wanna take a guess what's gonna happen?
I'll go to the default, and default is ascending.
And default is ascending. Anytime you hear the word default, meaning without you specifying what you want to do, it's going to deal into that. Okay?
Okay.
So if I don't specify ascending, SQL is by default is ascending, meaning it's gonna sort it out into A. But descending is not default. So if I want descending, I have to specify. Now T became at the top. And it wouldn't hurt if you said ascending. Even if you don't write it or write it, it's gonna give you ascending. A is gonna be at the very top. Question?
Nope.
Let's do this. Display all data from customers table sorted by the country column. We just did that. Display customers table sorted by the country column. Descending also did that. Can I order by several columns? What do you think?
Yeah, we can just put comma, customer name. And
Yeah, we can do that. Let's take a look at this situation here. Here's customer table. I can have a customer name displayed. Let's say I display all of it. And I want it for everybody in Germany. So give me the query, Shobuz. How do I display all records with just Germany?
select start from customers where city equal country equal to Germany.
Can I
Country
say
equal
like?
to, yeah, country like Germany.
All right. So I
Yeah,
got all Germany good?
Yep.
Okay. Now I want to sort this by, are there multiple cities here, same name?
city.
I don't think so.
No. Then that's not going to be a good example. Let me try something else.
Customer ID.
Customer ID, are there duplicates? Nope.
No.
No. Let me find a different table here.
Employee ID.
Employee ID. What was that? Okay. How about this? Take a look at this situation here. you got this order ID and then product ID. And notice the order ID has duplicates. These are the same. But again, this order ID could appear somewhere down here, and it could get really messy. And based on this order ID, you also have products ID. And notice the product ID has different numbers, and you want them to be in a specific order as well. So you could order these two both at the same time. How? Let's go ahead and do this. We're in the order details table. So display star from order details table. Let's make sure it works. It's working. And here we're going to say order by. Okay. And you specify the column name, which is order ID. Okay. And if you want both of them to be ascending, you don't even have to say ascending. You could just put a comma and say product ID. That if there is a duplicate, if there is like multiple of order IDs, then go into that and sort that out too. Your product ID. And if you run it, now it brought all of those in here, 249, and it's sorted that way. Okay, 250 and small to big. Okay, but what if I wanted big to small? What do I do there?
Descending.
So if I do descending, DESC, you got these sorted as ascending and product ID sorted as big to small. Standard, this was ascending order, and this one big to small. Okay, 250, 250, 250, big, medium, small. And if I wanted this one to be descending as well, you could go in here and say DESC. Query that. Got the biggest one, biggest, all of these same. Here's big. This one, it flipped. Oh, sorry. This one and this one are the same. So big and small. 42, 42, 42, big, medium, small. Okay. Any question?
Nope.
And I can do vice versa. I can take that off and say, do that. It's going to be default ascending order. Small, medium, big. That's just only one item, so there's nothing there. But small, medium, big. Okay, and bigger. That's it, guys. I don't have anything else for today. I didn't want to overload you. Most of the class was spent on other things, but this is your homework. It has 10 questions. There's a link right here that's going to take you to the SQL query page that I was on executing the queries. It's using the same database. So copy paste this URL, or you can click on this URL on the homework page. It's going to take you there. Practice the following queries. Display all data in the customer table. Notice they're kind of the same. It's actually very much the same. I may have changed a few things here and there. As you practice, you need to see whether it displays data. If it displays data, I want you to copy that. Meaning, what I mean is, I want you to copy the query. So here's the last slide. SQL exercises. This slide comes in handy on finding the, where was that? There. So that icon makes it easier instead of copy pasting. So that's the query. You have to copy that query and submit that for your homework. This is how your homework looks like. If you go into your Google and make sure you click on this icon and see if you're logged in as the right account that you have. Otherwise, you won't see it. So mine, as a student, I'm here for this one. And now if I click on this icon, it's gonna actually take me to all the information that I have for under that account. And I have this classroom there. And you're gonna see that under yours as well. In that classroom, you click on automation engineering, go to classwork. Go to classwork. This is the latest homework on database management system. All the database homeworks are going to be under this umbrella. And your first assignment is SQL assignment select. It's due October 11th, which is Sunday. Open it up. Information is already in here. Here's a link that you need to click on. It's going to take you to that editor and practice this. View assignment. This is how you're going to submit your assignment. Sorry, not like that. That's administration work, I think. Edit. I need to see student view. Who can quickly demo it for me?
And who said she
I
can?
can do it.
Okay, Haley, go ahead. Here you go. Let's see how it looks like from your side.
Okay. And then you want me to go to homework right here?
That is the one, and also classwork will show you that too. Yeah, that's your dashboard. But if you have any questions like where the homework is and under which topic, the topic is database management. And
Okay.
yeah,
Like this?
yeah. So click there. I want to see what happens. And if you say view assignment, yeah, this is the view you want. And now if you write something on this class comments section, everybody else will be able to see that.
Okay.
Yeah. The way you're
Private.
gonna submit the assignment or private comments, you can write there. You can copy this whole thing. Go ahead and copy this instruction and everything.
From this?
Yeah, copy that. Just up to the city.
Okay.
Yeah, and then Control C to copy. And go to add or create to the right side.
Here?
Yeah. And here you want to open up Docs. Now you're opening up a Google document. This document is going to be stored in your cloud. Yeah, click open that. It actually opened up on another tab on the left, I think. See that tab on the top? Yeah, that's your document. Go ahead and paste it here, Control V. And top left corner where it says untitled document. Give it a name. SQL Homework 1 by Haley. If someday you need,
One.
yeah, Homework 1. No. If you needed to search and organize your notes where you did this, you want to name it. You want to have a naming convention. I'm going to leave it up to you how you want to have a naming convention to organize your assignment. And now,
Oops, excuse me. Oh, I accidentally did that. My bad.
it's going to come back to it, I think.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, but the name you didn't hit enter, so it didn't save.
I'll do it again. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's okay.
I don't know why. Sorry, it's cutting out. All right.
All right. And after that first number 1, where it says display all the data, put your cursor at the end. Hit an enter. And you can paste your statement SQL query right here, or the answer
Okay, got
right here. When you're done with this,
it. Mhm.
notice at the top where it says accessibility on the menu. Yeah, right after this it says last edit was seconds ago. That means it's already automatically saved it for you just a second ago. So there's no save button for you to say save it. It already saved.
Yeah.
Anything you type in is saved. Now go back to your assignment on the second tab. Yeah, click there. Notice that your homework, that Haley, your name there, and then you have a SQL homework, that document on the top right corner.
Yes.
Yeah, it's already there, right? But it did not turn it in to me yet, meaning I won't be able to see it. Now, you could be working on it today, a few queries today, and then a few queries tomorrow. When you feel like you're done, then you click the button turn in. If you click turn in, only then I will be able to see it.
Sounds good.
Huh?
That sounds good. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Any questions about how to turn in an assignment?
No.
All right, guys. Any overall questions about the course today, or anything?
Not at all.
All right, folks. If no more questions, then thank you so much. Closing this class today. Hope to see you next Sunday. Turn in your assignments ahead of time so I get a chance to give you some feedback. Do send me a Slack message or text message saying that you have turned in, so I look into it and let you know if you got it right or wrong. I won't be displaying the homework going forward. I'll just look at it and give you feedback on the Google Classroom, unless you have any questions. So if no more questions, have a wonderful rest of the weekend. I'll see you next Sunday.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thanks.
You.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Bye.